Hi, my name is Russell Pearson and welcome to the Marketing Report. The Marketing Report is a podcast for passionate yet frustrated business owners, and this is episode number 9. And today on the Marketing Report, we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit frustrating to me. In fact, something that I detest, something I really hate, which is apathy. Because when apathy creeps into a business, it kills a business. It is literally a cancer. And it can creep into any business for all sorts of different reasons. And there's a couple of different scenarios I want to talk about in particular today. But I know by working as a business owner myself and working with business owners on a daily basis that a lot of the time the apathy within their own business creeps in from a bad hire. It's where they hire someone into the business that they thought might have been the right fit because of some technical requirements that they needed in the business. But what they ended up bringing in, it was an employee that had no passion to drive the business forward. And so I love passion. I hate apathy because they're nearly polar opposites to one another. And when you bring that apathy into the business, it spreads. And so you'll have an employee sitting over here on a desk, and then they don't care about what's going on. They're telling everyone they don't care. Everyone's asking their opinion, and they're like, meh, yeah, whatever. And the person next to them starts acting that way as well, and it starts to spread throughout an office. So apathy is something that has affected my business. And in fact, every time I feel it even coming on in any way when I'm dealing with a client, I know it's time to leave the situation. Because this is actually something that happens in marketing and sales quite a bit. But what tends to happen is the people running those marketing campaigns don't stop because they're collecting cash, even though they don't care about the outcome. So I'll give you some examples. So there are some big companies like Yellow, Yellow Pages, Reach Local. This is here in Australia, but they're big digital advertising companies that are of the Yellow Pages ilk. Now they, over the years, have shed employees, and those employees have gone out and started their own digital marketing practices, and they've instantly said that digital marketing, or they've really focused in on digital marketing being advertising, or at least that's the pointy end of their spear. That's where they've really focused in on. And then they've added things on top of that, which is, we can look after your website, and we can look after your branding, and we can look after all these other things. But they've started with the advertising spear. So what ended up happening is that these people would create systems, or they would take the systems from the big companies, and they would set their business up to grow around these systems that they would start. And they would get out there and they'd sell the systems, and people would come in and they'd put themselves in their business into their advertising program, and they'd start running this advertising. And whether it worked or not, the digital marketing company didn't seem to care. It was more a case of how many clients could they get in the door, and how many clients could they sort of keep on the line for as long as possible. And I saw this because I was working in the industry, and it killed me. It really frustrated me watching that, because I could see that the missing link there was that they hadn't taken the time to understand the business that they were about to advertise, and they just put them into this cookie cutter system, which in its own is probably never going to work anyway, because the market is now looking for real truth, which means it's looking for personality in the business that it's trying to actually promote. It's no longer just about brand, pretty colors and fonts. It's no longer about logo, and to be honest, it's never really been about logo. It's now about how you can actually show the truth of who you are as a business, and not just the single truth. Because back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the whole advertising game was, how do you find the kernel of truth in the thing that you're about to tell, so that it has greater influence. Now, what's interesting about that is it's the greatest lies ever told had a kernel of truth in them, and so it's just a lying formula. But now it's no longer about putting a kernel of truth in. Now it's about actually showing your whole truth. So showing the good side of you, showing the bad side of you, showing who you are as a company totally, to actually build that trust relationship with the end customer. But what these digital advertising companies are not doing is they're not taking people through that process, and they're not getting to learn who these people are and ideally what they're trying to achieve. Because every business had a passionate founder. Every business, even if it's a large business, has passionate people who are leading it. If there's a non-passionate person leading it, if there's apathy in the top end, and I've seen that as well from CEOs and the like who don't really care, they're just holding the rudder of the ship as it moves through the next 2 years, it's you watch as it starts to plummet even before it hits the shareholders. So apathy will kill a business at all different levels, but the marketing companies would put people into their programs and they would just run them out, and they wouldn't care whether they would actually succeed or not on the other side. It was just trying to hold on to them for as long as possible because they were getting a percentage of every advertising dollar spent. And so for me, I'm not in love with those digital marketing companies. In fact, my whole focus on marketing is that you should be looking at a total opportunity when it comes to marketing rather than one sector. So many of the digital marketing companies will go, all right, well, we're looking after the advertising space, or potentially even the advertising space with Facebook, the advertising space with LinkedIn. We're looking after cinema advertising, whatever it might be. Now, that's not really digital advertising, but that's an example of the different advertising streams. And they very rarely, every now and then I meet a good one, but they very rarely will actually recommend you to someone else if they don't, because they realize very quickly whether you will fit their program or not. And it's very rare that they would recommend you to someone else. They'll actually either say that their solution is going to help you, and it won't, and they'll just put you into their program and then spit you out the other side and collect some cash on the way, or they won't be there to help you at all. So what you should be looking for, I guess, with a marketing company is someone who is passionate about your success and are also passionate about the different ways there are to skin this cat, which is the marketing for your business in particular. Because there's this line that a lot of coaches use, a lot of business coaches in particular, that everyone comes to them and says that my business is different, when in reality every business is really pretty much the same. Now, the function of the business is fairly the same. Like it still has a financial component. It still has marketing and operations and sales. It has a HR component. These areas are true. But when you're actually presenting yourself or positioning yourself within a market to actually attract people to you, then every business really needs to be different now more than ever. Because as I've said in a previous podcast, you can't be beige anymore. You need to be your own personality. And apathy is the thing that seems to be getting in the way for the majority of people, because there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different digital marketing companies over there screaming out saying, I've got the answer, I've got the answer, I've got the answer. But really all they've got is a system, and they're not actually interested in what your business is and what it needs to, how it needs to tailor its campaign to actually launch out into the market. And it's really, really disappointing to see. So there's apathy in that area. There's apathy with employees, and I know that it's frustrating the majority of you as business owners when you have apathy around you. So you want to find someone who's going to sort of work with you when it comes to marketing and sales. And that's really why you don't want to give up sales early in the piece with your business. Really, the founder or the managing director is going to always be, because they're passionate, the best salespeople. So unless you find people who are more passionate than you about the product that you serve or about the mission that you're on, then it's going to be very difficult to actually put them in and expect them to get the same sort of results. Now, there's an old adage that we talk about in regards to employees. If they could do 80% of the job as good as what you've been able to do as the passionate founder, then that's a really good thing. So, and I would tend to agree. If you can get a salesperson who can do 80% of what a founder can do, then I think that's amazing. And that's why it's so difficult to find great salespeople, because to actually get them in on your mission usually means that you've actually had to bring them from the ground up and engage them in what your business is and who your customers are and what you're trying to do. And they become passionate that way rather than already being passionate about it. But there are opportunities to find them. So if you're looking for employees, you need to look at passionate people. If you find anyone who's going to be apathetic to the way you go about doing it or what you're trying to do, it's not going to be successful. And in fact, you're going to add an element of cancer to your business. And if you're looking for assistance, whether it be support teams, whether it be marketing teams, whether it be even HR teams, you need to find people who are as passionate about your business, or at least that element of your business, as you are. And I think that I've even had that within the bookkeeping realm. Apathy within the bookkeeping realm has killed me to the point where I've actually had to turn over a number of different bookkeepers, because again, they're trying to put their systems on my business rather than actually look at how my business can work within their systems. And they're not trying to work it together. And because of that, and them not caring about the fact that needs to happen, they've ended up, we've had a number of scenarios where things haven't been done the way that they needed to be done. And I think that you will have found this as well. If you're working with people who don't care, then things are going to slip through the cracks. The call that really could be made today gets made tomorrow or even next week. And that whole momentum piece slows down. And the lack of momentum kills a business, because if we're not green and growing, we're not green and growing, we're ripe and rotting. There we are. And so if you are slowing down in the momentum of your business, it's potentially because you've got people that are around you that are creating apathy that is now infecting you and your business. Now, the interesting thing about that is that can actually happen with people who are just hanging around you. I don't know if you've ever had this scenario. Another old adage, I'm pulling old adages from left and right now, is the one where you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. You know, they talk about that your salary will be the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. Your personality will be the sum of those 5 people. Your attitude will be the sum of those 5 people. I find this to be particularly true when it comes to passion or apathy. If you're around 5 passionate people, you're going to be passionate. If you're around 5 apathetic people who do not care about anything, then you're not going to care about anything. And a lot of the time you're going to be disillusioned with what's going on around you. You're going to be very negative, and you're not going to be looking for opportunities because you're not going to be expecting opportunities. And that's the thing with luck. If you're not expecting to be lucky, you won't be lucky because you're not looking for opportunities even subconsciously. So apathy will kill you in so many different ways, and it kills me because this is the thing I'm fighting against. So please, passionate business owners, stay passionate. If you feel that you're waning, if you feel that the energy is reducing and it's not necessarily because you've lost focus, you're not even sure it is, start looking around. Where is the apathy around you, and how can you remove it before it becomes cancer that will infect you and your business and potentially run you right into the ground? My name is Russell Pearson. This has been the Marketing Report. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are listening to the audio version, then you might not know that we've got a video version as well that you can find on YouTube. If anyone's interested, you can catch me at Russell Pearson Speaker on Facebook. You can find my page there. I'd love you to join me because I actually put all sorts of stuff out throughout the week between these podcasts. And if anyone's got any questions, I've received some feedback during the week, and I'm going to be adding them to some future podcasts. I'm really excited about some problems that we're looking to talk about live on the podcast. So if you've got any questions or if you've got any problems that you'd like me to talk about on this on the Marketing Report, then please let me know. Send them to russell@russellpearson.com and I'll respond to you there. Until next time, stay passionate, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Make sure to visit russellpearson.com for more podcast episodes, videos, and more. russellpearson.com.